Hi, welcome to Durango and Pod's Adventures. I'm Craig.
And I'm Taletha.
We'd like to introduce you to the van that you've decided to rent. This is Terra. It's a 1997 Eurovan, fully restored right now in 2021.
So we're going to give you a tour of the exterior, the interior, the pop-up tent, the back hatch, and you'll know everything you need to know for a fun and relaxing trip. So here we are on the exterior driver's side of Terra. When you first get to your campsite, you'll want to turn on the propane. So you turn the knob to the left to go on, and that will give you propane to the stove and your furnace. Before you leave, you turn it back off. You'll have a full tank when you pick it up. If you need more propane while you're out, this is the connection for filling the propane tank. Right by the driver's door is the gas cap. And you do have a separate key for that. And we use the key, take out the gas cap, fill her up with unleaded. Please return it with a full tank to avoid an extra charge. Finishing up our utilities on Terra, we have the shore power for your 110 power cord to make the rest of your outlets work inside. Got the vent for the gray tank. Just some airflow there. And this vent is for the furnace, so that will have hot air coming out when the furnace is on. So make sure don't put anything flammable near this, and if you have children traveling with you, make sure to let them know not to come near it when the furnace is running.
So Terra is equipped with a 175 watt solar panel on top that keeps the house battery topped off as long as you've got good direct sunlight. So you really wouldn't even need to plug in if you had good sunlight at your campsite. It'll run everything inside for you. Well, now we're going to put the awning up, and we have a little storage location for the pole that operates the awning. So here's where you grab it, right here. Just remove it out of these clips, kind of be gentle. It'll pop right out, you have it in your hand, and then we'll come out and we'll deploy the awning. So we're going to put the hook right here into this little turnbuckle device. There's a little bit of a trick to this. You want to get this thing deployed just partially. So about, 8-10 inches out is all you need to get it deployed. And then inside are the stabilizing legs. Okay, the stabilizing legs are inside. They kind of clip in here, and this works its way out to get past the awning cover. And then here we have the tension nut so that the legs can be extended. So one of the tricks here is if you leave this too low, the door will impact the extension arms. So I'm actually going to put a little up pressure to get it up, lift it up, and tighten this leg. I'll do the same thing on this side. Now, it's important to know when you're stowing it back again, this part of the bottom part of the leg has to be in this position towards the inside of the awning. So we're going to bring this one down again, loosen it, lift a bit, then tighten that up. Now, what's going to happen is we're just going to slowly walk out the awning. And one person can do this, two people can do it. Pretty simple operation. You get it about there, bring this leg again forward. This leg again forward, and we'll keep cranking it out and let it pivot over its own legs until you get it where you want it extended or fully extended. If you watch the roller as you're coming out, you'll see where the fabric is starting to get almost out. So right about there is about all we get. Set this up upright. If it seems a little low still, now would be the time to adjust it up higher if you need to. But one quick little test is once you remove this handle, and you can open the door, and it's touching, so I've got to go a little bit higher. Something like that. So now that I have the awning up high enough, this door will close. So now you can have access if you're storing stuff under the seat when you're out camping. This might be a good time to show you how these seats turn around. So both of these seats rotate into the center of the cabin. So if you have 4 people, you can all be facing a table. And we'll be getting to a little more of that later, but the mechanism is pretty simple. You come down here and release this, and this will spin around and face into the cabin itself. This van will not move again until you get the seat back rotated into a forward position and locked into place. All right, here we are at the back of the van. This is a great hatch, particularly if you got a little bit of inclement weather, because once you get it opened up, it gives you a huge place to get back out of the rain to start getting set up. There's quite a bit back here, so let's kind of run through the paces here. So the freshwater system is filled here. So you cannot connect this to like city water. You have to fill the tank. There's a little tiny button that latches this closed. It helps to lift that up a little bit, take the pressure off, and then pull this down. Then we'll open this door, and you'll put the water fill hose in right here. We've provided the water fill hose. It's just basically a hose with the end cut off so it fits in there. This will hold 11 gallons, 10 or 11 gallons of fresh water. And the gray tank will hold 8 gallons. All right, so this is the exterior water. It pulls out about that far, so if you need to rinse off your feet after a fun day at the beach, you turn this switch on, it'll turn on the pump, and out comes water. Stow it back, shut it off. So after you get this closed up, below here is the electrical circuit at our electrical panel. Really, you probably shouldn't even need to worry about this, but if, let's say, you heard it trip a breaker or you couldn't get some of the electrical working, you come back here and you can reset everything back here. Pretty straightforward. We've never had a problem with it. This is the brand new mattress for the lower bunk. It's stored back here, kind of tucks up under the way, and you can put more of your blankets and pillows and the kind of things you're storing as you're going down the road right back here. We'll also have 2 exterior folding chairs back here. And we're actually going to demonstrate how those work because they're just, they're a little bit different, but they're quite comfortable. If you lift this up, this will also lift up out of the way to get to additional cargo back here. This is where we store the ladder for you to get into the upper bunk. The battery for the house battery is stored here. It's also the inputs for the solar that come in and charge the battery. You'll also find your lug wrench tools, a jack, and so on. That being said, part of the service of running the RV through these services is that you can get roadside assistance if you have a problem. The reason you might want to do that for sure is the spare tire is mounted way down low underneath, and it takes a ratchet set to undo a couple of bolts, and then the tire drops out. I would just think let the service take care of that stuff if you had a problem with the tires. You can also have access to the closet. In here, your electrical cord is stored. It looks like this. So that gets your 110. We have an inflator if you need it for mattresses or water toys. This is the screen for the back of the van. If you want to have more airflow, you can have the hatch up, snap in this screen set, and keep the bugs out. We also have, if you decide to rent our porta potty, which is an option with a privacy room, we have the chemicals in here to keep the porta potty smelling fresh while you're going down the road. And this also serves as your hanging closet up front. So your clothes can hang up here, door slide in and out, and there you go. One thing to be aware of is if you're storing stuff back here, this is the intake, fresh air intake back here for the furnace system. So don't have anything up against it once you're kind of camping and you want to run that heater if it's a cool morning or a cool day. Have this free and clear so you can get good safe heat. You don't want to block that. These are the provided stakes if you're in a windy area and you want to keep that awning grounded to the ground. These are the stakes. We provided a toolkit, so there'll be a little hammer in here to get these stakes installed and taken out. Be a little bit gentle because the feet are difficult to replace on these awnings, so just don't be overly aggressive when you put them in. All right, so it's time to go to bed and you want some privacy. You grab these two and you can have a privacy curtain. They attach right here on Velcro and they'll go back away when it's time to get back down the road. Okay, we're now going to pop up the tent. So there's a couple things to know about. This right here in the center is the safety strap. She's going to remove that. And then we have two latches, one here and one there. We're going to press those at the same time. You'll hear them click. Okay, I'm going to use my shoulders here, push up. Now the struts will take it and fully extends your tent. Now we get up and walk around. Now there's an upper bunk that's deployed right now, and you have to put this in a deployed position for this to come back down. Everything has to be flat, but we don't need it right now. So I'm going to move these cushions out of the way, fold up this, and it can be stored on top of that even. And now you have all this kind of walking around room. Okay, so we're going to open up our windows here. They just unzip like this. You got nice no-see-um level screening here to keep the little bugs out. Once you get them opened, you don't want this to get down in your kitchen when you're cooking, so you roll these up. It has these already in place little buckles to clip them into place. Now that's up and out of your way. Okay, we're gonna get ready to, it's time to go home. We're gonna bring that to tent, or we're going somewhere else on our trip. So we're gonna release these, get this windows rolled back up into place. So you don't wanna fold this up with the windows in the rolled up position. Okay, so we got the windows secure, top down. We have to actually make this bed, so to speak. So bring a cushion forward, fold this down into the bed position, and get this cushion flattened out. Now, if you wanted to store a couple of blankets, that would be fine if they're flattened out. But even pillows and things like that shouldn't be stored up here because they just get too much thickness for the top to come down. Okay, so we want to do as much as we can as we're closing this down from the inside. We may have to tuck fabric in all the way around this as well to get it completely protected from the wind and rain as you're driving down the road. So as I lower down the tent, I'm going to take this fabric and pull it in and snug it up as far back as I can within reach. I'm going to do that on both sides. So we have to make sure this fabric stays clear of these hooks that go down into this pocket to latch this down. So I've got this gathered material. I'm going to roll it up sort of like this, get it out of the way of the hole on either side. Repeating the process on the right. Then I'm going to grab the handles, bring this down real close, something like that. And now we have to go around the outside and see if we have any fabric that's still sticking out of the shell on the outside that makes the roof. So as I close the roof down, some of the tent fabric is outside of the rubber seal. We want to get all that inside. So I have this specialized stick. It's just really a piece of scrap wood, or a paint stick would work, but this is what we have in the RV for now. And you just use this to get that fabric pushed back all the way inside of that seal. It's easier on this side, frankly, than on the other because of the awning, but we'll demonstrate that in a little bit. So I've got all that tucked in. Now we'll go check the other side. Okay, so we are going to want to get the rest of this fabric tucked in, and it's a little more difficult on the side where the awning is. But if you can see in this shot, we have a little bit of orange fabric showing right here in the gap, and we're going to take our special little wooden tool or paint stick and get that stuff tucked away. Now as I'm pushing this away, I'm being as gentle as I can. Again, we might want to lift this up just a touch. The last step here, we have all the fabric out of the way. I have the fabric pushed away from the two little L-shaped studs that come down and click into the locking mechanism. And then we have two stout handles located left and right. We're going to grab and pull down firmly until you hear it click. And you'll hear two clicks. That sounded simultaneous, but they have both clipped into place. Safety strap is in place, and we're ready to get down the road. All right, so we're putting the privacy curtain in the front. Everything either has a built-in curtain, or in this case it just attaches by Velcro. There's little Velcro dots all the way around the front of the van. It stores, yeah, in a pocket right here, along with, this is the screen that goes through to the roll-up door, is stored back here in this mount pocket as well. If we're out dry camping, there's no shore power to plug into. This is the inverter. It should only be on when you're actually using it, but it's charged by solar, and it's also charged when you have the van running. It'll recharge that house battery. So pretty convenient to have. So yeah, let's say you want to charge up your laptop. This is where you can do it. Now, if you're under shore power, you can plug into these outlets here, which are regular 110 outlets. There's one located up here in the kitchen and one located at the back hatch.
So now we're ready to show how the kitchen is set up. Under the lid here, there's 2 rings. You just pull those, and sometimes you just have to pull one. Pops right up. Pull down the locking lever. Lift up the lid, and there's a grease shield. Pull up the door and secure with the little ring tab here. So that goes through the hole and twists to secure it. And we'll be ready to light the stove with the knobs over here.
Action.
So to light the stove, you light the lighter first. Hold it up against the burner. Turn on the burner you want, and it lights right up. Let this one go in too. And we're ready to cook. When you're all done, you just turn flames all the way down. You turn right off. And you can come over here. You need to use the sink. This comes up. We provide a cutting board. This is a cutting board. It's also an extra wash basin. You can do dishes outside. If you have extra water available outside and you don't want to fill up the gray tank. And our sink's available to use the sink. The water pump activates automatically just by turning it on. You're good to go.
Okay, to the left of the sink, we have storage. This is where we're going to keep your scrubby brush and your sponge. Your soap's located here. Just below that is service for 4 silverware in the little drawer. Below that is another cabinet that will hold, in this case, paper towels. We've got your French press coffee maker and a cutting board. And in this big cabinet right here, we have your pots and pans, utensils, and they're all organized into different little cubbies for easy access to get in and out with.
Just below the stove and the nice towel rack is the fridge. And it has a little freezer up top, and the knob to turn it off and on is up in the corner. When it's all the way low, it's off. As you turn it up, it gets colder and turns on. We suggest a setting of about 5. And for taller things, you can leave this up if you have a taller glass, a quart of milk.
Okay, we have 2 ingenious tables that Winnebago designed for this van. There's 2 tables located here. This is merely just a protective cover, and it's got a clip strap that goes over the top and around the side to keep it in place. Let me get those unbuckled. I'll remove this, I'll throw it down on the seat. So I'll grab the first table, and they both operate the same way. So this part of the table will come up at a high angle and attach into this rail. It can be moved back and forth. Each one has 1 leg. You can deploy. It'll click into place. Click into place like that. So lift the table up at a high angle. It'll fit into that slot like so. Once it's in place like this, you just lift a little bit and you can slide it anywhere you'd like. So if you have 4 people, you can have a table in front of the 2 rotating captain's chairs. You can also have a table in front of the bench seat. Another thing that we really like is to have this table, when it's cooking, deployed. Let me step out of the way so I can move it. And we like to slide it all the way forward up here, like so. And now you have much more area to spread out with your cooking and when you're preparing meals.
And now that we have both chairs turned around and both tables out, we've got a setting for 4. Lots of room. So now Craig's putting the table away, just released the little leg and folded the
leg clips in right there.
So make sure the metal bracket is facing up when you go to store it, and the driver's seat has to be facing forward again. And retrieve table number 2. Same process. Release the support, fold the leg into the clip. The bracket goes up. And there's a couple little stoppers behind the seat. You'll see it won't even fit if you don't have the bracket up. And we'll put the strap back on, put the cover back on. Well, cover first, then the strap. And the cover has nice padding. The strap has a little buckle. Tables are protected and out of the way. So right here over the kitchen, there's a window that's an awning style. So when it's raining even, you can open it up, give you extra airflow. You can either open it with or without the little pop out handle. Extra airflow, easy to open.
Easy to close.
Easy to close. On the right hand side, right next to the bunk and the bench seat, there's a little latch to unlock and slide for some more air, lower window as well.
Okay, it's time to set up the lower bunk. Now, this takes a little bit of finesse, a little bit of elbow grease to get this thing moved. So let me kind of go through it. So this handle down here is the release mechanism to allow this whole section, this whole seat will fold forward. In fact, it'll block this lower cabinet. So before bedtime, get whatever you want out of here. And then this lever will pull this straight out this way, and that will fold down to make the flat surface to create the bed. So the way to get started is you put gentle pressure releasing this handle till it kind of clicks. Put your hand at the back of the seat and kind of wiggle it till it starts to move, right? Release this handle, and as you come forward, it'll click loudly into place. We have the chair slid forward. We're going to pull this black knob straight out in this direction. So you don't pull it up, you don't push it down, you pull it straight out. And that will release this entire cushion to flatten out like this as you lift up a little bit into the position for the bed. Then the next step is to pull these mattresses forward to make the lower bunk. So we just grab them like this, get them past the seat belts, lay them down, and there you go. You have a lower bunk that fast. So we do just the opposite to put it away. Fold these back up, get them towards the back again. Now we don't have to pull a lever. We're just going to lift the cushion into that shape. By the way, there's a little bit of additional storage underneath this seat. Now, as I get it up this high, I'm going to reach to the back, continue folding it, and now that's in place. Now, the easiest way to get it back into position is I use this part of my leg. You release this handle, and I'm going to push back with my leg until things scoot back. And again, you'll hear it loudly click back into position. Terra is equipped with a fantastic fan, so it's a great way to cool off, control the temperatures. This particular fan has a rain sensor as well, so if you have it up and it starts raining, it'll close down automatically. Comes with a remote control. I'll show you that here. The remote allows you to set for temperature, fan speed. You can draw air in, you can pull air out. It actuates by pointing right at the fan, so if you're not kind of pointing directly at it, it won't actuate it. And then set your desired settings. The temperature setting is pretty convenient because you can kind of set it and forget it if you're trying to stay a little cooler as you go to bed, and it'll just do its thing. Here's how the furnace is turned on and off. So if it's a little cool, you want to warm it up in here, and this furnace will run you out. It's a very good furnace for a space of this size. You just reach up here, turn on the furnace to your desired temperature. Make sure, of course, the propane is on when you do this. It will think about the setting. It'll run a preliminary fan, ignite the furnace, and turn on the heat. You can kind of hear it activating right now. As soon as it kind of clears the oxygen flow, it'll ignite the burner and you'll start warming up right away. So if you've opted to get one of our patio packages, these are the chairs that we provide. And strangely enough, they need just a little bit of explanation because they're highly rated. These are one of the top rated camping chairs, but they actually have a clicking and locking mechanism on the left side of the chair. So what's good about this is when it's clicked all the way open, it keeps rigidity to the chair and keeps it comfortable and not sagging and that kind of thing. So to stow it, you just release this button and you can see it collapses right up, and it'll click again into that position. Then you can kind of tighten it up and put it in its go bag, or every chair has its own strap, so if you don't have the go bag going, you can just throw it over your shoulder and head to the beach, whatever you're doing. To deploy it, you have to release it again to let that relax out. And then once you get it placed like this, you put on the left side of the chair, you put your hand on the top and on the arm and push until it clicks, just like that, and the chair's set up. So don't be frustrated by the clicky things. They actually make this a better chair experience. Now let me show you, if you've decided to get our patio package, you also get some folding tables. Let me demonstrate how those work. Okay, so if you've selected to have the patio package, we're going to give you these really compact folding tables that go with it. They're a little bit different than some of the ones you may have seen already, though very similar. But to get these set up properly, you have extendable legs. That's what helps keep this kind of compact. So what I like to do is find some kind of surface. We'll use the chair in this case. Get the bottom part sort of opened up. Spread these legs out a little bit. And then you pull them out and there'll be a location where the pins click in. Like that. Opposite side, very similar. Pull them out until they click. Like that. And then if you've ever used these tables before, they do some kind of scissor action, come together, and you have a really nice stout table. We kind of live and die by these tables. We take them on every camping trip. We really like having them. And that's why we've made them an option for you. Nice thing about these is you put a couple of them together, you've got a nice dinner table set up outside and so on. Going down to the beach, you have a place to set your cocktail. So anyway, these tables are available. Now to stow them away again, put it upside down. This is the trickiest part of the whole operation. I push in a pin and put a little bit of pressure on that side so the pin goes away. Opposite side, and then tap them in until they close up. But you don't want to fully collapse it. Leave yourself a little bit of room. You turn this around. Same thing over here. Collapse that side, put a little bit of pressure on it. Get the other side. Work it in. Now, and when you fold this up, the reason you want to leave a little bit of room is when the table collapses like this, you then push the legs in all the way against the table and it's all stowed. We really are excited to share our van with you. You can have some of your own exciting camping experiences. And we have literally owned probably every type of camper you can think of. In fact, we full-time live in a fifth wheel on top of it, and we take that out all the time as well. But nothing is quite as cool as having this little compact van that'll tuck in almost anywhere and has all the amenities of a little cabin.
Now we've been at private parks, state parks, boondocking, national parks, and would love to give you advice on anywhere you'd like to go. We're foodies as well, so if you're looking to road trip, can help you plan that. Just send us a message and we'd love to get your Terra trip planned out.
Well, really, we hope that you fully enjoy the use of this van as much as we do. Bon voyage.
Safe travels.